So we are closing the year with a gold key. Hi everyone, I'm João from Scented Moments channel, where I help you to discover the wonderful world of perfumery. So in this video, I want to share with you my last luxury fragrance haul of this year. And I have here 7 fragrances, all niche, and I have 3 from Amouage, 3 from Xerjoff, and it's been a while since I mentioned Xerjoff, although I really love the house, but Xerjoff is that love-hate relationship because either I really love their fragrances, some of their fragrances, or then I kinda don't really like it, just doesn't work for me. So it's really extremes, but nonetheless, overall I love the house. And one last fragrance just from one brand, which is from Lorenzo Villoresi. And so let's start with that one first. Lorenzo Villoresi, I think it's a very underrated house, Italian niche house, of course. The only fragrance that I have from this house is Sandalo, which is one of the best sandalwood fragrances. It's in my top 3. It's like a creamy, a bit floral sandalwood. It's just to die for, and great performance actually. And this one that I added to my collection, it is Patchouli. I love Patchouli, and this is actually one of the most well-known fragrances from Lorenzo Villoresi, and this Patchouli is to die for. I mean, Italian houses really know their Patchouli. For example, my favorite Patchouli, and still, although I purchased Patchouli from Lorenzo Villoresi, but still my favorite is from Profumo Roma, Patchouli. And then you have another fragrance, Patchouli, from Reminiscence. And although Reminiscence, I think it's French, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a glorious Patchouli fragrance right there. But like Profumo Roma, amazing. Then of course Lorenzo Villoresi Patchouli, I mean, I would say it's my 3rd favorite. I mean, this is an old school, damp, earthy, even I would say a bit funky even, and it's very rough and dark and just a real patchouli. It has a natural smelling feel that I absolutely love. This literally smells like patchouli. My only concern with this fragrance is the performance. I would expect, especially from my experience with Sandalo, I was expecting that this fragrance would last a bit longer, but well, I will not judge yet because in the end I just wore this once and I was just at home, so maybe the performance will be better in my 2nd or 3rd, or I mean ongoing wearings. But yeah, at first impression I'm not impressed with the performance, but in terms of smell, it's amazing. I would say that it's even a bit more daring than Patchouli from Profumo Roma or Patchouli from Reminiscence or any other Patchouli fragrances. I mean, I have already uploaded my top 10 best Patchouli fragrances like either last year or a couple of years ago, and I still stand by it. Well, although I think I would add this in my top 3. I would say my number 3, because it's that good, and I love Patchouli again. This is linear. I mean, in the dry down, it's more woodsy, but overall, it's really that dark, rough, slightly funky, earthy Patchouli. I mean, it's up there. It's amazing. Patchouli from Lorenzo Villoresi. What a fantastic scent right here nonetheless. And if you are a patchouli lover, this is definitely a must try. And really, if you already experienced fragrances from Lorenzo Villoresi, because I already experienced Tintinage, which is a nice powdery scent, also very well known from this house. Sandalo and Patchouli, I already tried them before, so this was not like a blind buy or something like that. But I'm very curious about others. Tell me in the comments down below what other fragrances would you suggest me to try from this brand, because I'm really curious to dig in more into this brand. So the first fragrance that I added, it's from Lorenzo Villoresi, Patchouli. Now let's start with the Amouage fragrances. So this one I already mentioned several times actually, because I'm very proud to have this in my collection, and it's from the library collection from Amouage, and it is Opus 6 in the old bottle presentation. I absolutely love this bottle presentation. Now again, I'm always saying this, Amouage rebranded this line. Now they reshaped the entire line in the normal men's bottles of Amouage, of course, and they discontinued some from the Opus collection, and I don't know if this one was included in the discontinuation, so I'm not sure about that still, but I hope that this is still out there. I really hope, because this is that good. So this has black pepper, so it has that pepperiness that you will find in Journeyman from Amouage, which I absolutely love. But then this goes into a very resinous, thick, gooey labdanum, like amber, very warm, with this beautiful myrrh and frankincense. What a fragrance this is from Amouage. I mean, it was love at first sniff. Of course, I reviewed this fragrance, but it was from a sample that, I mean, it's gone right now. Yeah, I knew that I would needed to add this to my collection and finally have it. It's Amouage Opus 6. I mean, it's brilliant. It's a fantastic scent. It's regal. It's really a regal fragrance. It's a classic Amouage scent that you really need to get your nose on if you have yet to. Opus 6 from Amouage. Next fragrance, also from the library collection. I mean, very proud actually to finally discover this collection and to go a bit deeper into it. And this one is a beautiful rose and incense. Yeah, that's right. With this beautiful red opaque bottle that, I mean, again, gorgeous, really gorgeous. Fortunately, they are not producing this anymore, but this fragrance is just so sensual. It's so addicting. It's a beautiful red rose, a bit sweet. Lots of course, incense, definitely very incensey, cold incense, but also very resinous. You know, you have this, the rose here is slightly jammy, and you have like an ambery warmth in here with the frankincense. So beautiful. But the rose here, it's full, it's carnal. Although it's a sweet rose, but it's carnal and full and vibrant. Beautiful scent. Ah, man, amazing. Amouage really has some of the best rose fragrances in the market, and I love rose. Rose is my favorite floral note, so I mean, this is definitely a winner. And I love incense, so I mean, it's a winner combination for me, and it's a beautiful fragrance, really. And I know that this is available in the new bottle presentations. I know that this is available, and this was released in 2019, if I'm not, so it's a fairly recent release. So of course this was not discontinued, fortunately, because it's really amazing. It's rose incense from Amouage, and actually it adds something different to the roses of Amouage, Lyric Man and Lyric Woman, which I have both and I absolutely love both, and this does things a bit different. So it's that if you have both, or if you have one or another, from like if you have Lyric Man or Lyric Woman, this is still a fragrance in its own, and it's still a beautiful rose fragrance. So rose incense from Amouage, another stunning addition in my opinion, of course. The next fragrance, I still can't believe that I have it. It's not from the library collection, but it's really a hyped fragrance, and let's be honest here, I completely feel the hype in this one. I understand it. It is Overture Man. Simply beautiful. So I still can't believe that I have this beautiful bottle. I mean, I love it. I love the bottle. I mean, I love Amouage. In the end, I love their presentation, but this one, I love the texture of this bottle specifically. Amazing. This kind of reminds me, actually, the copper coloring here kind of reminds me of Diamant, but this is an entirely different fragrance from Diamant. This is a very spicy cumin. Cumin is definitely the most prominent note for me, but it's so damn sexy. Cumin, cognac, it's boozy, it's ambery, it's very incensey and very spicy and aromatic and very sexy. I mean, seriously, the cumin in here is it's even sexual, I would say. Beautiful. I love it. Performance is great. I mean, lasts the entire day. I'm head over heels with this one. I tried this in Barcelona when I went there this year in September, and wow. Although I just tried on paper, and I was impressed, because my expectations were a bit low, because, you know, like when you are in this hobby for a while, like I am, and you see a lot of fragrances being way too hyped, you kind of start to be in the fence. But no, on skin, this is even better. I mean, the cumin with the booze, with the frankincense, it's just right for this. I think this was the last fragrance released in the Christopher Chong reign, let's say, and I think this was closing the Christopher Chong era with the gold key. This is a traditional Amouage with adding something different, like the cognac in here. It's done really well. It's not sweet, because usually boozy fragrances give a very sweet nature, but here it's not. It's cold, I would say, because it's very well balanced with the cumin and then the frankincense. I think I would even say that cumin and frankincense are more prominent than the booze itself, the cognac itself. But this really smells like the color, this beautiful ambery color, but I would make this even a bit darker, because this is dark. This is a dark fragrance, a very mysterious but very sexual fragrance, I would say. Overture Man, beautiful. I have yet to try Overture Woman, because still there are some people say that Overture Woman, it's even better, so I'm very curious to try that one. And last, but definitely not least, the last three fragrances, both from Xerjoff. And again, Xerjoff, in the end, I love it. I love this brand, although lately I'm not talking about them as much, because for some reason this year I didn't felt I was not really in the mood to wear Xerjoff. For some reason, I was very into Chanel. I mean, you all know by now that Chanel was really or better saying, this year was the year of Chanel for me. And yeah, maybe that kind of made Xerjoff being the corner, but actually they have really amazing fragrances, and I also love their bottle presentation. So maybe this will burst the flame again, will ignite or reignite the flame again, and maybe. So this one is from the Join the Club collection, and this is not a new release, actually. It's been here for a while now, but it was forever on my wish list, and well, here it is from Xerjoff, Ivory Root. What a beautiful fragrance. First of all, beautiful bottle, and actually this Join the Club collection is the most affordable collection from Xerjoff when you will compare the other lines, like the Shooting Stars, I think it's the Oud Stars, the Casa Morati. I mean, when you compare all the lines, then you have I think it's the X line, which was before the Sospiro line. They are also a bit more expensive. So I think this one is the best bang for your buck, I would say. And in terms of quality, they are actually really good, and in terms of uniqueness also. Ivory Root, it's a very unique scent. So this is, for me, you don't have the notes listed, because usually Join the Club fragrances, they don't list it, the notes. But Ivory Root is a beautiful, creamy vanilla, sandalwood, and spices. So good. So good. This fragrance, for me, it's to die for. Very addicting, very addicting. It has a gourmand-ish quality, but this is not entirely gourmand. This, for me, it's really creamy vanilla with sandalwood and spices. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I mean, the performance, actually, it's not incredible. I mean, this is more of a skin scent, I would say. I mean, it might create like a more intimate scent cloud, but nonetheless, this is not a fragrance that will, I mean, it's not a loud fragrance. Usually, sometimes Xerjoff has really loud fragrances. This one is not the case. And I'm happy for that, because this had some mysteriousness into it. I think this is also a very romantic fragrance, very sensual, very alluring, very addicting, and it's really one of the best fragrances from this line, hands down. Quite unique in my opinion, from Xerjoff Join the Club collection, Ivory Root. Next fragrance, it's from the also from the house of Xerjoff, of course, but from the Casa Moratti line. I just have, actually, before this one, I just had one, which was actually one of my, if not my first Xerjoff, one of my first Xerjoff, which is 1888, which is still top 5 best Xerjoffs, or even top 3. I would even say top 3 best Xerjoff fragrances. This one, it's also very popular. It is Italica. Still new, as you see, like I still didn't took the plastic out, but Italica, beautiful bottle presentation here. And this has a new design bottle, because the previous one was, it had a velvety touch, and even the design here was quite different, but this still smells amazing. So this is a gourmand fragrance. This is indeed a gourmand fragrance. This has like a floral, like lily of the valley, with it's very creamy, very vanillic, very nutty. It's delicious. It's like white florals with vanilla and nuttiness. Yummy. It's amazing. It's unisex. You just need to love gourmand fragrances to appreciate this one, but it's just delicious. Great performance. Again, it's not a fragrance, at least not for my skin, that will shout, but still it will, I mean, definitely has better performance than, better projection, I would say, than Ivory Root. But Ivory Root has a great longevity, so has Italica. Amazing gourmand fragrance, and it's another fragrance that I had on my wish list for years, because this was love at first sniff when I first tried it. It's still in a velvety bottle, but this was a bit exclusive back then. It was a bit hard to find, so I just tried from a sample, but very happy, very proud to finally have this beautiful fragrance here, Italica from Xerjoff, from the Casa Moratti line. And last but definitely not least, this is fantastic. This fragrance is fantastic. It was released last year, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a collaboration of Xerjoff, between Xerjoff and Toni, Wyoming. So it's called Wyoming. I mean, beautiful bottle presentation. I'm a sucker for this bottle presentation here. Although you had and I think you still have out there, like a limited edition with some crystals, Swarovski crystals. It's all over the bottle. I think it's an all black bottle with Swarovski crystals, something like that. I mean, it's a very expensive bottle, actually. I mean, the scent is the same, but it's definitely much more expensive. Yes, you have the limited edition thing, but I prefer this one, because in the end the scent is the same, and still you get this beautiful bottle presentation. Quite unique. And this is a very unique patchouli. So patchouli here is the main note. Again, very dark and damp and beastly. But you also have fruity nuances. You have like you have passion fruit in here, if I'm not mistaken, passion fruit or peach. I don't recall the note pyramid, but definitely for me what really stands is this peach slash passion fruit thing with a heavy, damp, earthy patchouli. Amazing scent right here. And this is sensual. This is very sensual. I would even say that this is a bad boy type of, I mean, even the bottle suggests that, right? It's a bad boy type of rock star type of fragrance, and I really feel that. I really feel that. But it's a very sexy fragrance. In the end, it's a very bad boyish, rock star, sexy type of scent. But again, you gotta love patchouli. And you also gotta love your fruity notes, because this also, and Xerjoff has some of the best fruity accords. I mean, Erba Pura might be a bit too much, but for example, La Capitale or Cruz del Sur 2, I mean, they are fantastic. One of the best fruity fragrances out there. And this one, the fruity accord in here really works with the patchouli. So it's not overly sweet, and it's not that doesn't have that synthetic nuances, overly synthetic nuances. No, this is really well blended in my opinion. It's balanced and it's amazing. Absolutely love this fragrance. It was love at first sniff. On my skin this shines. This is a parfum concentration. So I mean, it's one of the best releases. I would even go further to say this is the best release of Xerjoff in recent years. It's that good. It's Wyoming from Xerjoff. What a jewel this is. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what were your last fragrance purchases. I would love to hear your list or your last fragrance that you purchased this year. And see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Ciao.